Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Business Pro Money Show. This show is about management, organizations, network, entrepreneurship, and youth. So today we'll be discussing pressing topic that concerns everyone in society, and that is about how to safeguard children in online and digital age. So what we'll be discussing in this show, it's very important so that you can see or watch this discussion till the end. So first we will discuss about what is privacy and how to go about it. We will understand about the online threats. We will see about type of content which is available on the internet. Who are the stakeholders in all this ecosystem? What policy and controls are already there which can be leveraged? And the most important part is what do we need to do to understand as a parent that what we have to do to control to mitigate all this. And in the end we will be talking about the tools and controls so that we can better control everything. So the tools we will be talking about is how to protect your home internet, the iOS, which is the iPhone and Android and different operating systems we have in our home devices, how to manage the content filters, and something about the cloud storage. And for all discussing all these pressing things and important things, I have invited Mr. Mehzad Seher. He is a leading CISO in the fintech industry. And why I've invited him on this show is because in Pakistan, we believe that the banking systems are more secure than the other systems which we have in our country. Uh, and he is a subject matter expert in this domain for last 20 years in information security. And welcome, Mazhar Saab. Mehzad Saab, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, fine, Jawad. Thank you for arranging and calling for this online meeting and touching very interesting topic, which is need of the time. So I'm really thrilled to talk about whatever introduction you were giving. So yeah.
Sir, so can you define what is like privacy, what is online privacy? Since you are a subject matter expert in this domain, so I want our audience to learn, and especially the parents, because 90% of the population in this country, they don't know about what information security is all about and how their privacies are compromised in day-to-day life. Over to you, sir.
Okay, Jawad. To be honest, if you would like to talk about privacy, so let me be very candid. I will not go to typical subjective definition available on Wikipedia or internet. But what I learned throughout my experience in this digital age, unfortunately, whether we like or not, there is no more word called privacy in the dictionary, practically speaking. So yes, everyone is looking for privacy, whether he is browsing through Facebook, internet, WhatsApp, and there is a GDPR. But at the end of the day, whenever you people, including myself, we end up using all big, giant free services in the name of Facebook and Google and Gmails, where we all end up accepting their all terms and conditions, which are like 10-page terms and conditions. No one has time to go and actually properly understand. They are directly and they are very much clear that they can sell our data, they can actually use our data for any business analytics purpose, and that can be given to anyone. So privacy for me, yes, it is a fantastic word, but practically speaking, it's better whenever we go online to remain ourselves very much vigilant while passing any private information about ourselves, about our company, and expect that it can be breached. So if you assume things are already exposed, then of course you will be very much careful while sharing this private information on any social media platform or any online platform.
So just as a layman, on layman terms, like a school children and school child, or a parent who is not tech savvy as we are, so if we say that is about sharing your information online comes under the domain of privacy, and we have to be careful of what we share online on different platforms. Am I correct, sir?
Yeah. So for me, it all depends. And the definition of privacy, it varies from people to people. Like guy like me, I don't have even Facebook account, to be honest. Okay. People are having Facebook account. They love even to post what they have taken in the name of breakfast, from where they are starting their journey. 8 o'clock, after 30 minutes they are sharing their locations. So this is all private data, but they love it, right? So it all depends the privacy definition, that up to what level you want to respect. Some people are actually intentionally they are doing this, and they want, actually they should be known. And I'm expecting a age in coming world where maybe there will be two type of people. One who will be very much open to share their data, and actually they will feel that they are being isolated if they are not being discussed on social media. And there will be only few people that they will still try to actually keep their data and location and such things up to them. But ultimately, practically speaking, this is going to become a kind of mandatory requirement. It looks like it's like tomorrow. If no one will be having COVID, vaccination, he will feel he's not part of this world. So same like privacy, if all people in coming age they are going to share their data, and based on that they are going to get some lot of benefits, from these big giants. They will have to ultimately share this data, unfortunately.
So, sir, with respect to, as you said, some people are like they are sharing data online on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and a lot of platform. And if you look at the all the platforms which are available, so all the services which, especially in Pakistan, we are consuming are free services hosted by provided by the leading tech giants. So मेरा आपसे क्वेश्चन ये है कि what's the impact of sharing this data? So there had like, is it risky? It's not risky, and something social engineering attacks. It's a common term which is into play. So can you just explain our audience a little bit about the risks of sharing this data and what can happen to them?
So yeah, so there is a misconception. Unfortunately, once we use WhatsApp or other media, they say it is fully encrypted end to end. But actually, it is in front of us. But it is up to the WhatsApp company. If they want, they can easily share this data. And this is their kind of regulatory requirement. They can't even operate in America unless in the name of legal interception, they don't hand over all of our information being used on WhatsApp and social media to these law enforcement agencies, especially in America. So I will humbly speaking, I will say, unless we have our own mechanism, like China has, they have made their own social media like WeChat, and they are very much independent actually, and they don't look at other countries. Unless we do and we take similar action, we'll have to rely on these open social media accounts, keeping in mind that they can anytime they can use this information. And that's why one of the risk is in Pakistan, not only kids, not only parents, but even officially, even up to our I will say National Assembly, the decisions are being taken on WhatsApp group. And this is very, very dangerous, because one compromise in the name of adding someone out of 250 members can compromise the privacy of the whole group members. And no matter, even all 250 members are actually trustworthy, but at the end this information can be shared if required by this spying agency internationally, and they are enforced to provide this information, no matter we like it or not.
So, sir, the main challenge with the kids after this COVID situation is before they had small few hours of gadget time, 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day to play games, to surf the web, to extract some information for their assignments. But after the lockdown, and still the kids are at home, and some schools have started online schooling, which requires the kid to be online for extended number of hours. um, it's about 3 4 hours in a day, and then 2 3 hours to complete the homeworks, and then the kids ask for gadget time because they want to entertain themselves, maybe watching some videos or interacting with their friends. And so the time increased from 2 hours, if you say a week, in a week, 2 hours a day into 7 days is about 14 hours a week. So has extended to about 10 into 70 hours a week. So this is like very good in a way that they have more opportunity to come into the digital world, but on the same time, it poses a lot of threats. So being a security expert in this domain, so what challenges do you see and they are exposed to? What threats they are exposed to, which parents should be aware of?
So what I will say that unfortunately, due to this emergency, without having proper due diligence, not only kids, even offices and employees, they have been put suddenly under circumstances of offering their services from their homes. So this requires a very careful analysis. So in this case, let's zoom into our kids. Same risk where actually even they were not ready. They don't know actually, rather than spending these 10 hours continuously or with some breaks, whether they are exposed to some other threats, because earlier they were only like clicking on some YouTube. Now they are trying to actually access their classes through Microsoft meetings, through Zoom meetings. And Zoom, you remember, sometime before it came up with a lot of vulnerabilities, and I hope they have been fixed. But it is an ongoing journey. The problem here is we have not given a proper security awareness to our children, our students, while actually browsing such data for a long time. And now we all have been enforced to religiously start using all this technology. So there is always a prerequisite, and which has not been fulfilled, I will say. All the schools, before calling for this type of online classes, in addition to demonstration of how to use Microsoft Meeting, first of all, they should give them lessons about cyberbullying. They should tell them, as far as you are going to use more times, expect some kind of wrong meeting invitations in the name of your teachers, some more social engineering attacks where people will be telling them, we can fulfill your online assignments, we can appear on your behalf. The attendance can be misused. There could be man in the middle attack. So all these things primarily was required, but it is not too late. I will highly recommend that these security awareness sessions, some kind of modules should be developed, and that should become a mandatory requirement before they go and join any online class. And that can boost up their vigilance. Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, man in the middle attacks, people sending wrong invitations to wrong meetings. Some people will be catching up with these kids to help them with the assignments. All these are challenges. But for a young kid who is like in an age bracket of 5 years going up to 13, 14 years, the elder ones can you can teach them and you can enforce couple of things on them, but the younger ones are too naive to be intelligent enough to know to be aware about it. So so as a parent, so you cannot block everything, you cannot open everything. So what is your in your mind that you want to suggest to parents to create a balance?
Very good question. So actually, here the solution is we should start with proper monitoring. And in monitoring, there are always three type of action. One is called allow whatever he is doing. Other is block if looks suspicious. The third thing is the most important, which is give me alert. So we need to set some definition of suspicious activity, and then based on that, we should actually start observing their activity and should start getting alerts. There are very good applications available in the market. I can name if you want. And if they are being installed, whether it is a laptop or it is a kind of mobile device, they can alert parents that your innocent kid is found trying access some suspicious, let's say, mobile app, or some inappropriate contents available on the internet, or trying to access an inappropriate YouTube video, or trying to, or maybe trying to overutilize the internet, so all these things are possible. And here parents also needs to play their role, because of course they can't simply trust and blindly trust this technology. So with the help of this trustworthy technology, they can install such app on their own mobile device, and they can spend at least, I will say, 5 minutes per day to watch what's happening with their kids. The very fantastic reports are being generated, and they can be utilized in a very proper way.
So, keeping in view the landscape in our country, especially regarding to the operating systems, like Windows is the most popular operating system, and pirated Windows is being massively used across the country.
Hmm.
And the, you think, and Linux is not in use. Android devices are heavily used, which are known for their security loopholes. So what do you suggest to parents and the whole community, and what are your thoughts on it? Are they is okay to use them? Is not okay to use them? And because of licensing thing, it's not appropriate to use them anyway. So but we have a big problem over here. So people don't spend money on softwares first, and then we have this millions of devices with compromised, or you can say uh, hacked or cracked OS being operated across the country. So what threat it poses?
I will say, unfortunately, this is a cultural challenge here. Our parents, they are willing to spend, let's say, $1,000 just for their kids. If he's asking for some fantastic toy, they are willing to pay. But if it is technology, if they are still trying to use this type of illegitimate software, actually, so they are inviting a lot of risk. So we need to again give awareness to parents to start spending money for this legitimate shopping, and encourage using not pirated software. Number one. Number two, there is no like secure or insecure operating system. Linux even looks like very fantastic, but it has its own security holes. The most important thing is whatever you are using, it should be licensed. Number two, it should be hardened. That is the very important statement. I give the
So can you
example.
a little bit explain more on the
Yeah,
hardened term which
yeah,
you use? Yeah.
yeah. So, for example, whenever you buy a Android phone, it itself asks you very intelligent question that would you like to actually share this information? Would you like to allow access to camera and blah blah blah? So actually, and that is called hardening. And by default, uh, uh, if you go to office on your laptop, you don't have even admin rights because you are not being asked, you are not being allowed to install any application, isn't it? But once it is unfortunately, it is your mobile device where even you're using your official emails. Unfortunately, mobile device comes with admin rights, which means whatever application you want, you can install blindly. So whether we like or not, that is the situation. So in this case, as far as it is our own device, we should actually, I mean, these options are there. We should use common sense. You go to, for example, I give you example of you going to online Torch, and this is a mobile app. Now, online Torch, if asking a stupid question that I need access to your photos, your videos, immediately, your common sense should reject and should not allow such application which are actually free but spywares. Same thing in the hardening mechanism. You can stop lot of such services yourself, and they are very like in easy English mentioned in the settings of Android phone and the iPhone. They're mentioned. You just start using most of the stuff where actually you're trying to block, and then so in the beginning you block, and then based on your journey, if you feel that you are being irritated, then you should start releasing these controls. So it's like start with control and then relax rather than opening everything and then controlling and putting the control. And that should be the phenomena of using any new device, and that
So
is called hardening.
as a parent and as a non-tech person, so one should start with monitoring the application rights, especially on the mobile phones, so that it
Yes.
will help you to create a block on the permissions, and plus help you to secure the data. So my follow-up question on this thing is, since these hackers or people who are trying to access you, they will try to steal something from you. So there's a concept which I was reading the other day is harvest now and encash later. So, so keeping which in view means that you steal your data, steal anyone's data now. You can decrypt it later and use it later for malicious intention purposes. So my question is, how can a simple user who is not non-tech, who is not aware of the technical aspects of the application and the software, uh, can protect his data?
Okay, so one of the interesting stuff is at least for a antivirus solution, if it is relevant to a laptop or a desktop, we all know this is like a basic requirement. But unfortunately, as of today, 90% of the people, if they're using their mobile, they never think about having their own antivirus meant for their mobile device. So there are very good. Again, I will not name because then it is like their promotion. But there are very much well-known vendors available in the market, which also offer antivirus, content filtration, and this type of solutions for mobile devices. So no matter you are not a technical guy, you can simply install them in default setting, and they offer a lot of stuff where they block such spywares. They block someone is trying to actually steal your credit card information or your username and password, and they give you alert, and sometimes they automatically actually take action. So you can configure whether give me alert or take actions. So this is a small investment. So it's like having your online technical advisor sitting on your mobile at the cost of, you will be surprised, not more than like $20. $20 is nothing as compared to the loss. We need to encourage people to start using this. And I will even say in a business model, to be honest, all these big names, Q Mobile, blah, 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 they should market that now our mobile comes with free, let's say, antivirus, which is not a free, but actually, if you buy from us, we offer you. We need to encourage this business model, and all should start attracting that we are offering not a mobile, but we are offering a secure mobile handset in your hands. That should be the culture,
So,
we need to harvest.
as a layman, my question is, how about using antivirus, but a cracked antivirus, which is also a very big trend in the local industry. So a lot of people, because of weak privacy laws, they are using antivirus, but it's cracked antivirus. So as a security expert, so what's your take on this?
So I will say, just in business language, you are doing a surgery, but this surgery is being carried using an infected Caesar. So of course, rather than getting any betterment, you are gonna actually put more infection for that poor guy. So be hygienic, be very careful while using this, because the word crack itself is showing that I meant for a big compromise. And top of this, to be honest, in Pakistani market, there are a lot of rooted devices available. You know the meaning of rooted devices, like they come
Can you
by
explain it
default.
to our audience who are listening to us
Yeah,
now?
so rooted devices are those devices where actually they have control more than a admin level control, and they welcome actually these type of jail broken, I will say, iOS. They welcome even spywares very easily. You can install whatever you want, but actually at the cost of your privacy and at the cost of your security. So we should discourage this. Problem is they are very difficult for a layman to detect whether it's a rooted device or not. But simple message is, always go and buy a mobile which is a good brand, and not like very cheap brand, especially if it is a smartphone. Try to invest on a good smartphone rather than saying, because if someone is saying I have a smartphone but the cost is, let's say, 10,000 rupees, so expect it has something else. It's like in India, sometime before, they were offering, we can offer a smartphone in 2,000 rupees, and at the end they came to know all those devices, they were coming from China, they were rooted, and they were having some other actually intention behind this, maybe to actually monitor the whole nation, because of course everyone will love to buy, it's almost free, 2,000 or 1,000 rupees, very good smart mobile handset, but actually the intention is different.
So
So
if
we
we
need to
summarize
challenge.
our discussion up till now for last 15-20 minutes, is number one is okay, we have to be aware what we are sharing online. Number two is if we should use licensed software whenever is possible, because a $300 or $200 or even $100 license fee for an OS, it's better to spend on the OS, licensed OS, than having a
Foundation.
non-licensed issue. And secondly, we as a parents we should invest in a good antivirus solution for our devices, because it will give you a basic level of protection and some features for parental control. Am I correct, sir?
Yes. You are very
Yeah.
much correct, but one thing is very important. Apart from all this technology, the most important thing is, yes, technology is helping, but we need to have better relationship with our kids. So they should share, even in case of a blunder. Let's say they end up actually clicking somewhere which they found it was really inappropriate, and they give some comments, but they should not be shy to share with their parents. So that trust relationship should be further strengthened. Otherwise, we will be behaving like robots. So the human touch is missing, unfortunately, and that we need to bring back, at least in our society.
So, like we teach lot many things about culture, moral values to our
Yes.
kids. In the same fashion, we should talk about information security, protecting yourself, protecting your data, and interacting on social media and on and online. Uh, Very good. I want to share my experience with my audience. I evaluated a couple of software as Mezad Saab advised, because I don't want to leave everything open. Um, in short, every computer has lot of TCP IP ports. I will not go into details. These ports are like communication ports, or you can say circuits, which allow communication between two devices. So it can be your Gmail server, it can be a Zoom server. There are about 65,000 ports, if I'm not wrong, Mizat sir. Um,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and hackers use, if these ports are open, they can use these ports to connect to your PC or a mobile phone or any gadget which is connected to internet. They can access it. So if these ports are not open, these ports are open, so you are basically giving open access to your device. It's same like you have a home, you put up a lock, you lock your assets in your stores, or you have a safe to lock your money, protect your money. And then you have a door, which is main door, and then you have a door of entrance door. So all of these entry points you control physical in a physical environment. Same thing, you need to think about protecting yourself online. So you need to put locks or checks and balances on your devices, so that you have better visibility in a first step. So what's happening, and then as Mezad Saab advised, you block everything out in the first step, and then try to allow permissions to certain applications as you go on. So this will give you about 80 to 90% security, because
Hmm.
in world of information security, nothing is 100%. There's always a
Exactly.
chance of being new threats being coming every day, because as in these application and the softwares, especially the OS, every day there is some bug reports coming. Okay, these are vulnerabilities, and hackers use those weak points to attacks, and then your data gets compromised. So I want to share my experience with you. I evaluated 3 4 antivirus solutions. You can also browse the web and find them out. One is Symantec, one is McAfee, one is Kaspersky, and one is Bitdefender. And there are many 10 15 other players are in this market. AVG is also there. So I evaluated all of them. I selected one of them with the family protection, and I put them on 15 devices,
Hmm.
which is used by my parents, mother, father, my family. So at least I'm aware that who is doing what. And special thing is, it has a control of parental control. So you can filter content, you can assign control screen time, and you can allow and block applications. So at least it will give you a better degree of control. And most important part is, uh, your all ports in your systems are blocked. So if a novice hacker who is trying to attack you and steal some basic information from your device, so he'll not be able to do that, because these softwares will help you about 90 95% protection. You want to add more to this, sir?
I will just give like on personal level for mobile device parental control. I'm using Custodio. This is also one of the very good solutions because actually they are specialized not in antivirus but in parental control, and the cost is also less like $15 something, and it gives you like 5 to 10 number of licenses, so you can include all of your family members, and they can tell you actually where they are going, what they are clicking, how much time they are spending. You can even put do some time management. So for example, you can say my son, okay, my daughter, you cannot consume more than 2 hours on daily basis, so automatically it will cut them off. Second thing is even you can put geofence. So if they are, so you can use for multiple purpose. So if they are going, let's say not to school but somewhere else, you can also monitor through their geofencing location. You can also block. You can whitelist your mobile applications which you believe which are very good, and rest are automatically blocked. You can put this formula. You can put some keywords. If they are found entering such keyword, immediately you get the alert and you know what's going on. And and or if you want, you can block. So it's a complete I will say experience, a kind of journey. And at the end, I will again say, with all this, keep good relation with your kids and with your family, and give them assurance you are doing this not for the sake of their breaching their privacy, but actually for their security purpose. And that trust relationship should remain there. Otherwise, you will find them actually trying to bypass this, and we don't want this. So keep the most important thing is the relation, the human touch. I will again repeat, and physical interaction, because we are not here to actually spoil their digital experience. We are not here to put our kids under cave age. We are here actually to support them to enjoy all this digitization, but not at the sake of their privacy and security. Yeah, that's the message we need to
So,
pass to
what's the name of the
our
app?
family.
What's the name of the
Uh,
app?
Custodio, Custodio,
Okay,
Q U
Custodio.
S T I, yeah, Custodio, T I
Okay.
DIO, yeah.
So if you look at the this landscape, the children landscape, so if you focus on the stakeholders, states comes in the first, which is the government of Pakistan. They have regulatory bodies like PTA, PAMRA, and then we have internet service providers. They are also stakeholders because they are helping us to, they are delivering internet to our homes, offices. Then there are corporates, like banks and financial institutions. They are deploying some tools and technologies to protect their assets. Education institutions is also a big stakeholder in this domain, and family, society, religion, religious scholars. So all these stakeholders are there and I believe that they have to play their role. So being a information security expert, so what do you think, what's the role of stakeholders, and what's the current situation, and what way we need to focus more? Because it's at the end of the day is, if you are going outside and someone mugs you, you say, okay, I'm mugged, you go to a police station, you file a report, and then the process starts, which is also a cumbersome process. But state has done some facilitation in that perspective by forming institutions like police and intelligence agencies. So when we talk about information security and protection, and especially about child security and protection in a digital context, so can you shed some light on the stakeholders, their roles, and what needs to be done, and what should be the layman's expectation about from them?
Okay, so what I will expect from our executive stakeholders, the way they are securing us from any physical terrorism, right? Like in case, God forbid, if there is attack from India, we all are aware, and then we send over F-16, and the whole nation is watching until we finish this whole episode. Same thing, to be honest, in the cyber world, if you go to cyber world threat management dashboard, you will find there are like cyber missiles. They are
Wow.
actually landing on our beautiful land. You will see somewhere in Karachi, somewhere in some bank, some in telecom, in
Every day,
Islamabad.
that happens every
And
day.
this happen every day, but yes, because of the controls available across different industry, they are being defeated in a automatic way. But there is a fair chance that somewhere they are not being defeated. And as far as, especially if they are state sponsored attack, it is beyond our imagination how they are gonna land and how they are gonna work. So it is a very, I will say, alarming situation, because we are living in the digital world where gone are those days where nations used to spend money for their traditional arms or tanks or rockets. It is I will say it is the age of rather than sending bullets, is the age of sending bit and bytes, right? So they are attacking. Now it is the national call whether we are really interested to pay attention, because unfortunately we are a very reactive society. So once we are compromised, then we start spending money, and start actually zooming into that incident. And after 1 year, we all forget, and then again wait for another major incident. So strategically, to be honest, at the national level, cybersecurity should be considered one of the very strategic vertical pillar, and it should have, like in India, they have even their own cyber army. Imagine they have journal which are like with full grades. They are like cyber journal, and these journal they are having
So,
their own
so
cyber army.
you are proposing we should have another Ministry of Cyber Warfare, or
Yes,
like Ministry
yes.
of Defense. Is
Yes. We're already
because
late. Unfortunately, we are already late. Yes, there are some wings available, but they are working in isolations. But we need to have a centralized body, a national CERT, cyber emergency response team, or computer emergency report response team at the national level, where all industry, whether it is bank or it is, I will say, telco, or even manufacturing company, they should support. They should send their alerts. They should actually open with all of their incidents. So at the national level, we should know what's happening actually. Are we really attacked under the industry of aerospace, or under the industry of banking or telco? So, and then you can build top of that with the help of artificial intelligence, some analysis you can perform, and then you can build that where we need to pay immediate attention, or this we can fix later on. This is at the top level. Second thing is, for layman people, we should have a security awareness. The same way, we go and say tobacco is not good for our health. Why not? We should. I usually say this statement. This is my common statement. I'm still actually wishing it never happened. We should have banners available. Let's say a big city like Karachi or Islamabad, that please try to make a complex password. Please press control or delete before you leave your desktop. Don't share your path. This type of awareness is required on the national level. Okay. And last but not the least, there should be a proper department in each ministry, not only telco or finance, because they have a pressure from regulator. Forget regulator, it's like chokidar. You said you never ever wait for your chokidar to come 12 midnight to say, sir, please close your door. You yourself, no matter you are very much tired, you end up closing your door yourself. So don't wait for chokidar, which is a regulator. They may wake up maybe after 10 years. This is actually our own security. So do security for the sake of your own privacy, and for the sake of your own survival. And don't wait for government to fix everything. So all private organizations, all institutes, they should step in and start spending some budget. Should have at least one guy in the name of cybersecurity available, in addition to typical IT resources. Yeah.
so you are suggesting we should have security people, information security staff in every organization, in
Yes.
every
Yes.
government ministry,
Yes.
to at least start the basic initial protection. Unless until
Exactly.
we don't take that step, then we are prone to have bigger incidents uh, can
I
happen
will
in
say.
future.
I will say we will not be. We are already prone
Yeah,
to
you
this
said
type of
eh,
compromise. Yes, exactly.
attacks are happening every day, so we
Yes,
are not
yes,
aware of it. And there is
yes.
no central repository, there is no news in the newspaper, there is no coverage in the media.
Because
This
we are
is
immune now. We are immune, unfortunately. We
okay.
unfortunately, yeah. It's a wrong
So,
immune immunity.
So, and typically in Pakistan, what happens is once there is some issue pops up, maybe a website or a service, there is a debate it should be banned versus it should be regulated. So, so what's the difference in banning something or regulating something? Like there are talks being circulating around that we will not discuss that topic right now, but some applications are, or some websites are prone to be blocked, or similarly banning regulation. So, as an information security professional, what's your take on this?
I think we should simply rely on automation and artificial intelligence rather than pointing out to a specific application or a specific website. We should focus on blocking if required. Let's say on the national level, if required, some certain categories. So no matter whatever comes under that category, it should be blocked. So I give you examples. Maybe one application I know from where you're talking, if declared by PTA, now we are gonna block because of its bad usage or because of its popularity. What is the assurance there might be some very, I will say, specific application being used by only 10 people in whole Pakistan, but that is very malicious and doing something wrong and passing very confidential information. But as far as no one is aware of that, and it's and going under the radar, they will never ask, try to block. So we should work in an intelligent way. If that come under a specific suspicious category, so no matter the frequency is small, it should be blocked automatically. And then yes, if there is a false positive, we can fix, because nothing is perfect. So that should be strategy, and that is being followed actually in other global world, rather than just being very specific to individual applications, and which is sometimes very much late. Yeah.
So coming back to the layman terms, so we have a lot of parents watching us. Um, how can a layman do a security audit of his devices? Can you share some tips being a security expert?
Yeah, typical. If someone is trying to steal your data on continuous basis, you will find your system suddenly it has become very slow, right? You will find it is being stuck, now time by time. You will find actually whenever you're writing, there is a kind of slowness, and it looks like some buffering is happening in the background. And these are again not necessarily always is a sign of compromise. It could be also operational issue. Maybe your RAM is bad, but these are some of the symptoms. Actually, sometimes let's say if it is mobile, your battery is very much I will say getting heat. So it's getting heat up frequently, no matter you're not using too much. That is also a sign that your mobile device is compromised, and it is sending information, a snapshot, all of your, I will say, pictures, videos in stealth mode, maybe at night once you are sleeping, to some command and control center, which you can also monitor. So you can start monitoring some network traffic. Every mobile comes with some data usage dashboard. You can monitor from that. Why? The lot of spikes which you are not aware. So through that, with these symptoms, you can actually feel that there is some hanky panky going on.
So, as you said, sir, it's very good information you have shared. So, as a parent, as a layman, all we need to do is to start becoming more aware what's happening
Yes.
around us, what's happening in our devices, what's monitoring your internet usage. Maybe you are sleeping, but your desktop is connected to internet, and someone is like it's transmitting all your data to someone outside the country or maybe inside the country. You never know. Maybe someone.
If you allow me, it's like once you buy a new car, you are supposed to buy you are supposed to read at least the brochure, the manual, how, what is the meaning of this button and that button. If I will press this, usually we do this, right? If it is a car, if it is a brand new car, comes with the new features. Unfortunately, in case of a devices or laptop, we just do hit and trial. We never try to read thoroughly, and we are always in hurry to just utilize this and get the output. Like, I'm just in hurry to go and browse the internet, and that's it, without I will say buckling up your seat belt properly, so in case of a accident, at least you can be secure. So there are a lot of, I will say, controls available. So mobile does not come like they are free for any compromise. They have a lot of beautiful controls, I will say, like two-factor authentication. How many people are aware that on WhatsApp, for example, you can enable two-factor authentication. So time by time, it is asking you, is this you, Mr. Mehzad? If it is you, please enter your four-character password. If you enable this, then no one can hijack, to be honest, your WhatsApp session. So these are all built-in features available. We need to start adopting this and start taking interest in these controls because we purchase this. Imagine 100,000 rupees device. We are not only purchasing for the sake of taking pictures, right, or taking videos. There are a lot of new features being introduced and a lot of security new features which are simply asking you pay attention and enable them, because sometimes by default they don't come and they don't want to actually impact your user experience. But it's our call. Go and start utilizing these features in our own benefit.
So, sir, how secure is a cloud storage? Because there is a debate going on that you should move your data to the cloud. There are a lot of services from reputed vendors as well, reputed companies as well, and there are third-party services are being offered. So, for regarding data privacy and security, so what's your take on that?
I will say the same way we are trusting Microsoft. Tell me how many people they have the time and courage to go and test first whatever security patch they are sending us. Is this a really security patch or itself is a spyware? And same thing with antivirus. Antivirus companies, unfortunately, some are known sending actually compromise and then fixing it and then actually making money from you while increasing the antivirus subscription fees. So whether we like or not, unless we are technically independent and we are at the mercy of all these big names, Microsoft, Cisco, antivirus companies, I see cloud also similar to these service provider. So they are keeping data here. They can also, if they are really trustworthy, and that is your call. You'll have to make sure whatever control they are showing in their subjective documentation, it is really happening or not. So these type of control you should ask, and you need to trust these guys. Hotmail, Gmail, all these are basically cloud service provider. Our ministries, can you imagine, till now they are using Gmail and Hotmail. So already we are having a cloud in our life, to be honest. So we should not blame cloud service provider. What we should actually do, we should more challenge. If it is, we are going to launch some more professional and commercial service and challenge their security control. I usually do visit their data center and see what controls they have. Do they have a separation of duty? Do they have rotation of job? Do they involve the customer also in case their administrator is trying to access our data and give us assurance? Do they provide logs of all of their activities? If all these wonderful security controls are available, I think we should not discourage cloud. Cloud is the need of the time, and it is very economical and it is plug and play. Immediately, you can get this service. We should not discourage this. However, all these control which I have mentioned earlier, that should be introduced and should be we should keep on challenging them, and we should not remain relaxed. It's not a one-time contract, and then we should remain at their toes and making sure all these controls remain intact.
Of course, we should do that. So, so if we summarize everything, so piracy, we need to curtail it down. We need to use some security antivirus solution for monitoring the data and ports in our devices. Then, as Mezad Saab suggested, there are some software tools. One is, I think, Kudos, you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
Kudos.
Custodio.
Custodio. So
Yeah.
Custodio type applications we should be using to monitor the activity of our kids, and on top of it, it's information security is a journey. You cannot be
Yeah.
100% expert from day one. It takes a lot of time. Maybe 1 year, 2 years, you will be become some familiar with the terminology, familiar with the landscape, and it is as important as you are protecting your home, the physical
Exactly.
security of your home, your premises, your community, your society, and your country. It is of similar importance because wars are happening, as Mezad Saab just informed us. It's on every day, every second there are
Yes.
attacks being launched. we are more vulnerable because of pirated software, because of weak security, because 99% of our population is exposed to these kind of attacks every day, and we don't know how much data is being stolen. So on a national level, there's a consensus need to be built on creating more awareness.
Yes.
Maybe a ministry, dedicated ministry for warfare or cyber information. Um and as a person, we need to learn and educate others so that we can protect our kids. Because if we don't protect them now, then in future they will have more and more problems, because all these hacks, all these data leaks will create problems for a new generation. Because we have learned, because if you look at, if I'm just trying to rephrase it, so humans have been living traditional lives for many years. So this change only happened in last 30, 40 years. So before that, like from generation to generation, protection, security, way of living are being told by the elders. But if you look at now, we are in a zone where technology was recently introduced. Our parents are not, even my parents are not tech savvy, and yours as well. So they don't know about what this new thing is about, and it's been introduced in our age, and we are still 99% of people like of my age and your age group, they still have no visibility that how dangerous this could be. So in the end, I would like
Just one thing I would
yeah.
like to add. You know, this in Urdu, we usually call the parents are supposed to have talimu tarbiyat for their kids. So we need to add now the parents had more responsibility in addition to talim, which is education. In tarbiyat, we should not talk only about respect your elders, and you should talk in a very respective way. We should actually tell them in tarbiyat how to use internet in a appropriate way, in a professional way, in a decent way. So that should be also part of tarbiyat now.
Yes, we
As
put
the
them on
exam.
karate classes, we put them on football
Yeah.
to become players. But
Yes.
in a similar fashion, we need to teach them, train them how to protect your identity, how to protect your data in this digital age. If
And a
I'm not wrong.
good and I will say how to become a good digital and secure citizen. This is a new terminology.
So,
Digital and
so
secure citizen. Yeah.
how safe Pakistan is and how safe it can be, there's no limit to in cybersecurity. But do you, as a security expert, can you share some like some guideline or a roadmap or a vision that related to information security that people can benefit from?
I will say, there is no overnight magic. Overnight magic that, okay, I will just trying to roll one stick and then you are secure. It comes with processes, it comes with people, and at the end with products. So there are three P, and they are all intact with each other. And we need to start working immediately on our national level cybersecurity policy. It is there, but there are different drafts, like privacy, drafts are there. We need to finalize them. I mean, enough time has been spent, to be honest, and we should have no more luxury to actually keep on challenging whatever has been defined. At least start from that, and at the national level, build this ministry as we discussed, and then we need to work on our people. And the people means on their, not only on their awareness, but also producing very good cybersecurity expert from Pakistani institutes. I will be sharing with you, there are very good institutes which are even offering now MSc information security. Even BSc information security has been started from fast. This is first time. And so we need to actually attract such resources. And we should remain proud, because you might be aware the first global virus was introduced by a Pakistani company, isn't it? You are aware of that,
Yeah, yeah,
from.
bilkul.
So if our nation can create a first ever global virus like 40 years back, when the same nation was expected, to be honest, one of the pioneer, that was my dream, that we should be actually offering antivirus solutions, these type of things. So unfortunately, our institutes, they need to step in, and they need to actually produce practical cybersecurity, I will say experts, not very subjective, people with hands-on knowledge. These type of people, they need to bring, and products come at the end. I call in, to be honest, dabba. Don't waste your time putting these dabbas, their light is up and running and it means we are secure. No firewall, no IDS, no antivirus can secure you unless it is being run in a professional way, with the help of right people with right competency and with right process. Otherwise, all these
Absolutely.
dabbas can be bypassed with one click, and these hackers never underestimate their competency. Their competency is beyond our imagination, because money, time, resources is not an issue for these guys, and they are very highly motivated guys. So we need to actually motivate ourselves also to build this type of talent, processes, and then dabba at the end.
Absolutely, sir. So in Pakistan, in the global map, like you talked about hacking, and we talked about Pakistan is more vulnerable, and we had a history of creating the first global virus as well. So like there are two extremes. On one
Yeah,
side, we created the virus. On the other
yeah,
side, we are so much prone that anyone can hack us, and we have millions of attacks happening every day. So,
right.
in terms of, you can say, where does Pakistanis stand in a global map of hacking space? So, I mean to say, okay,
Okay, good
we
question.
are
Yeah, I
competent,
got.
we are not competent, like compared to other countries, who is on top, who is on bottom, where we are on the list. Like we
So,
have a list for GDP and growth. So I'm talking about a virtual list of
yeah.
hackers or hacking space and cybersecurity space.
So sometime before, nations, they used to be very much proud if they say, we are a nuclear power, and Alhamdulillah, we are one of them. But unfortunately, this being nuclear power is no more a matter of being very much proud, because being nuclear power, you end up creating, I will say, disaster. You'll have to actually create lot of, you'll have to actually destroy the whole city, and then you'll have to rebuild. And the same disaster, unfortunately, can be created. But like if you want to paralyze the whole country, you can do this with the help of a cyber attack. Unfortunately, you can paralyze the whole country. I will say telecom, banking, manufacturing, all with one click if the whole country is compromised. And this is a classical example. Estonia is one of the European country, small country, which was hacked at the national level for more than 2 weeks, where nothing was functional for more than 2 weeks. So this is no more a fancy story, or just a tale story. I'm telling you, it happened in our history just 12 years back. What about now? The technology is more advanced. So back to our question, in the world now, in addition to nuclear power, there is a concept of cyber power. In the cyber power, there are, I will say, Israel is the number one, for your knowledge. America is there, Russia is there, Germany is there, UK is there, India is also, by the way, coming. China is there, India is there, and this all happened because, first of all, they declare this as a critical vertical, and they introduce their cyber military. And unfortunately, we don't have till now in a systematic way. Maybe it is there, but as I said, in a very segmented way, not in a very organized way, or in a centralized way. So in that scoring, unfortunately, we don't stand anywhere unless we adopt all these things which we discussed earlier in a systematic way from top to down. In America, they have a chief information security officer for their president. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So he's guiding him. In Canada, there is a chief information security officer for the Toronto city. So at the city level, he is advising in addition to national level.
Because once we
So
talk about fourth industrial revolution, everything is connected. Your economy is connected. Your devices, plant, machinery, equipment, cars, everything is
yes,
connected in fourth industrial revolution.
and it could be
Once everything is
disaster. It
connected,
and
and
it could be
even if
more exactly, and it could be more disaster if all in the name of connectivity things are being connected, but in the back end security is totally ignored. Then it will be double and triple time disaster if it is being compromised.
yeah, of course. So thank you, sir, for your time, and Thank you, audience, for joining us and watching us live. I hope you will be benefiting from this discussion. So, if I summarize the whole discussion again, just to reiterate the key messages: use pirated, do not use pirated software. Try to use licensed softwares. Deploy some antivirus solution on a very high priority, because this will give you protection, 95-96% protection against attacks. Monitor permissions for your applications on your computers, devices, gadgets. And then, as Mehzad Saab advised, do not buy cheap devices. If you have even any kind of device, you try to find and more about tools which have been mentioned, to audit it, to make sure that at least it is some spywares and other things are not installed. And all these tools which have been mentioned, the antivirus and parental controls, will give you access to a large amount of data on your family members, and you can use it to learn what's going on, educate yourself, and try to gradually improve security of your home devices, home internet. And then moving on, you can deploy some more tools and learn about data protection, and this will help you to protect your data. So the more aware you are, it's better. So
Yes.
spending money on unnecessary stuff is important, but in this era of fourth industrial revolution, where everything is connected, if you do not have cyber power, as Mizaz Saab said, then you are nothing, because someone will come in through backdoor channels, through your devices, through your smart gears, smartphones. They will steal all your money. They will steal all your data. Maybe they spoil your reputation. And if they steal your digital identity, it will create more problems for you in online space. So it's not. This security should be taken very seriously. And as we spend money on a lot of other things, CCTVs and protecting our cars, for putting some trackers. So this is a tracker, antivirus, and these tools are trackers for your digital world. So unless until you don't learn to protect your home the same way we protect it physically, so you are exposed to threats. And I hope ke Mehzad Saab ke discussion se you have benefited. And thank you very much for joining us. And message to the government is that we should have a cyber ministry on urgent basis. And for all the security agencies and stakeholders which are involved for our protection, it's very important that we should, on our individual capacities, as Mehzad Sahab advised, start spreading the messages of awareness. It's very important. The more messages we spread and the more education we will provide related to the cyber security to our people, there are likely chances that we will be able to protect our young generation from the malicious outside attacks. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Mehzad Saab, for
My
joining us.
pleasure.
It was
Thank you for
very good
inviting me.
talking to you. Take
Thank
care.
you so much. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks you. Bye bye.